The grease monkey's mekton is built sturdy, just like himself. Can you imagine how this place used to look before the dead oil flood? Keep your feet beneath you. Might want to hold your breath before you head any further. You're about to witness the breathtaking vistas of what's known as the Dead Zone. Imagine that. You could just go to a place like this to get a proper meal back in the old world. Enough of that. So much better than legging it. Whoa, smell that? Biohazard nearby. That over there is Steepo Depot, the cliffside that Moog hangs on to. This one's impressed to see you out here. He figured you'd be dead by now. Not many are as tough and clever as you must be.
Kalba.
Says he's a monster hunter. The best you'll ever see.
Wow.
Moog says that all your power doesn't do you a bit of good if you're not willing to pull the trigger when the time comes.
Baba Zulu.
Out there with the monsters, it's kill or be killed. Which will it be for you?
Sarevaniat Zab.
You might have a steady aim, but you need to be sure that you pick your targets with care. It's hard to make those life or death decisions for others, but someone's got to do it. Otherwise, they'll do it themselves, and you know they'll miss. When it comes to monsters, he mostly picks who dies. Says it's wild that the world seems to be coming back, but he supposes that means more monsters for him to shoot. Gets why you're thinning the herd so hard, but he wishes you'd leave some monsters for everybody else. Says you should give up on working with the stubborn myriad. He keeps trying to put out their lights, and they keep putting up new ones. He's afraid you're just as stubborn as them. But enough of that, right? He says the wildlife, nature, has changed and turned against us. Instincts of survival took over when the world changed. He's not sure about their veggie diet anymore, and if it's changed, who knows what it's done with the chemical composition of their body output. Right now, though, he feels he's come to a point where he's got a pretty clear idea on the whereabouts of monsters, both tall and short. Says he's not sure, but if you're going to hunt something, it seems a waste not to eat it. Moog says you must learn to walk before you can run. It takes practice before you can call yourself a monster hunter. Fortunately for you, he can help. He understands you need to start off with something small before you go big. There's no better place to start than a squip cave. Hunting down a couple of these little critters for yourself should keep you on your toes. Says you stick to the hunting and shots present themselves later. This won't last, so enjoy the ride. Grab and pull. Let's see. Moog says you should go hunt for squips in... Feel that power. Wait, it's the Scrip hole-up. Place is just filled with critters. Keep your eyes out for new paths. Easy to miss things down here. A hero has to stand on its own. That's not opening on its own. Once the volatilization from the nuclear waste evaporated, a volatile gas rose through the soil and infested structures, even Toxanol's own buildings. So, in a way, they caused their own death. The world is full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. Oh, idea. Head up to that entrance there. All sorts of creepy things live down here. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Let's go gunslinging ding-dong. You might never want to leave the Mekton behind. There's a place and time for everything, but for that city scenario, it's already come and gone. A Mekton makes such a long-legged ride. dead already. Feels lonely here. Even the air is gone. Put that thing behind you. He says that's enough scripts to sustain the Mekton's claw crane cannon with infinite ammunition. Well done. That's the special weapon he made to store the scripts in the Mekton. It will be strong enough to launch them at the Jumbo Puff. Gizmo's made vehicles before to confront the Jumbo Puff himself, but failed. But this time, it's different. The Mekton will be strong enough to do the job. It's time to put a stop to the World Eater now. Otherwise, he fears the damage it's caused to the tree already will be too much to handle. There's time to improve the Mekton before you confront the Puff. There are more wreck boxes out in the dead zone with gear you should be able to equip the Mekton with on your own. He got the idea to build the Mekton when he found a big crate containing the metal frame for something Toxanol had named an exoskeleton. Gizmo wants to help if he can. Says it's quiet around here, just the way they like it. Thankful that you and the Ankati tribe are different, for that's exactly what creates the dynamics called life. Didn't have much else to say, so no problem. Gizmo wants to help if he can. Understands completely. Can. You need to help Gizmo defeat the Jumbo Puff before it destroys the West Route. Happy to have someone as tough as you ready to help raise everything to the ground. Says goodbye to you. Gizmo wants to help if he can. Understands you have... Stories keep moving whether you drive them or not. Jumbo pup with dynamite ain't no fun. Put an end to it before it ends our world. Jumbo Pup is kicking it up a notch. It's time for an electric performance. hits and it's a fried circuit. Bad feeling about this. It goes all the way down to the stomach. Start like a snack, and you'll end up with a ride down the intestinal canal. That's too close to the end station. Better move up and away, or be swept out the bowel way. Wow! What a super-sized wormwing. That must be as big as they come. You see, it's what's on the inside that counts. That meaty Taurus is already off beat. End it. Better pumped out than flushed down. Don't let it happen again. Look at you, all pooped out. From this point on, there's no way forward but going back in. That's too close to the end station. Better move up and away, or be swept out the bowel way. The Taurus is pumping at half a beat. You know what to do. Guessed it would go down with a throw-up. Can it really get any better than that? He thanks you for dealing with the first World Eater. It's a start. You should go see Out of Date and find out what you can about the machine he's named the Ark. You're good-hearted enough, so you'll have no problem getting him to share the information with you. He trusts you know where to find Out of Date by now. He's always been at the foot of the tree, and that hasn't changed. Sometimes your mind creates an illusion where it's possible to go back in time to relive a moment in your life. We all have things in our past we wish hadn't happened, and can come to remember seeing and doing things that never happened. However, there's no doubt that what you remember makes your future different. Choose the automaton functionality you want to recall. I was wondering when you'd recall how to spring the automaton air gliders. That all life is related by common descent, where the twigs are existing species and those produced in the past represent the succession of the extinct. The tree's great branches were once budding twigs, a connection between the past, present, and future, a representation of all extinct and living species with its ever-branching and beautiful ramifications. We are an evolution of those that came before. This thing needs new bounce orbers. Feels dank down below the dirt.
Loma utulu ba yowo.
Out of Date's impressed you made it this far, but there's still so much left to do. The end of the world is still on everyone's minds.
Fabobe mok kofar.
You've beaten a path where you have the power to destroy or save everyone. Question is, what you'll do with that responsibility.
Bobo toboko.
He can sense that your heart beats steadily and acknowledges that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
Ato wamawa.
Thinks it's important that you remember who you are and where you came from. Someone without knowledge of their history and origin is like a tree without roots.
Loto lu bayo.
What do you think his are? He's the one that's called Out of Date, remember?
Loto lu bayo.
Out of Date says there's a time for everything. And now there's no use thinking of the past, for it's gone.
Kotuvon ko konrun kono.
Think of the present, because that's where you are. It's time to set your priorities as the one who completes things.
Yeah, mufurbo. Bumu.
If you continue to do good, good will follow you.
Oloi bobo paweg.
If the world really does end, there won't be anywhere to run. So he's prepared for the worst, something he calls the Ark.
Tai miss.
He hopes you're right. He gets that you mean the journey continues either way, but personally he wants the tree to survive.
Valu alo hero.
Out of Date says there's no clear record of the chain of events that changed the course of history and brought the world to its knees.
Loma toaha.
He's found evidence on the Ark, records of a crisis, decades of contamination that permeated the ground and broke its inner core.
Loma toaha.
The contamination disrupted what we now know as key energy, the life force that runs through all things, living and inanimate.
Atu awa ya ea.
He's been told the blight affected everything at a genetic level and turned our perception of normality on its head.
Weta gono.
It was only those that changed that avoided extinction, proving that the possibility for survival and renewal was real.
Nuekek ujbar no barke.
He understands you are curious about the ship at the foot of the tree. He says it surfaced when the oil broke through the ground.
Ya molovando.
The Ark predates the back-in days, and now, after years of study of the manuals he found inside, he believes he's figured the ship out.
Ya molovando.
The Ark has room for 4 more, and he trusts you'll apply wisdom to your compassion and choose whom to save if the world comes to end.
Nuekek ujbar no barke.
He'll keep the seats open, and you are free to invite up to 4 others to join you in the Ark in the event of a cataclysm.
Luatolo maua.
Out of Date says that from what he's heard, you've been busy.
Vunko vuntu.
He says he appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's got urgent news from his friend Goop in the southeast.
Boyobut pai katawa.
Out of Date says that even though he's unsure about your intentions, he hopes you'll support Goop.
Boyobut pai katawa.
He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Goop and making sure he gets what he needs is up to you. That's the sound of impending doom. Out of Date's premonitions of imminent disaster are true. The Porkypuff needs to be handled.
Papa mofobak.
Out of Date says that Goop is worried now that the Southeast World Eater is stepping up its activity.
Tolomawawanya.
He explains that Goop is working on a goo-gliding vessel in order to get to the World Eater, but needs help to get it done.
Tolomawawanya.
Out of Date suggests that you should head southeast as fast as possible and see what you can do to help.
Cantita duela bofo.
He wonders what's on your mind.
Come ripa.
He says you really need to go see Goop as soon as possible.
Befarbiita huntoko kirko.
He wonders what's on your mind.
Come ripa.
As ooh, there's some rubber scrap for you. starting to add up. Yippee-ki-yay! Says it's good to see you again. He's Goop. You might remember him from the old days when he tried to teach you how to swim. Goop says you were always so righteous as a child, and he can still feel it, even at a distance. Goop says memories fade surprisingly fast. We are all pieces of what we remember. It's only together we can remember the story as it was. He knows he's easy to remember. There's no one out there as cuckoo as him. He's one of a kind. He understands you've returned to face Lupa Lupin. That's the destiny you've been carrying within yourself all these years. He says that the catastrophe back then didn't vanquish the good in you. It's still there, as bright as when you were a child. Now the time has come for you to remember and act. Your life is your life, not the story you're told about it. He thinks that's the right thing to do. It's only when you have forgiven that you'll find peace.
Light instantly banishes dark.
How much light do you really need?
All the light, all of it!
I mean, you could leave a little space for the dark.
All the light.
Can hardly believe the world is going to make it. Wonders what that's going to do to the goo. Thanks you for doing everything you could to de-goop the surf. Thinks the Myriad made a good match with you. You're both like sunshine on the surf. But hey, back to the goo. Knows yesterday is already gone. It's what you do today and tomorrow that'll move you forward. You need to set the past aside, at least for now. He can't leave the Subnautica station, as the pollution has worn down the insulation of his suit. So you must salvage enough scrap to fix up his goo glide, starting with the old wreck box outside. You should return when you've retrieved the scrap. There's no time to waste if you want to make the goo glide strong enough to fight the Porky Puff. It's not that it won't keep your head above the surface, but it needs improving to carry you across the thick goo out by the Porky Puff. Move like a dancer